Hello and welcome to another Enso Demo Bite. Today we're going to be talking about check-in instructions. Now, if you are a vacation rental manager, you've probably sent a long paragraph with all of the instructions for your guests on how to check in, and then a couple minutes later received a message from the guest saying, "Hey, how do I check in?" That's because your guests aren't reading your long paragraph messages. They're just looking to check in. As simple as that. They want it to be quick, easy, seamless. They don't want to have to go through and cipher through all this text and figure out what's going on. They just want to check in. So I'm going to show you on EnsoConnect how we solve this problem in the industry, whether it's for boutique hotels, vacation rentals, and more. On your boarding pass, I'm going to show you the guest side of things, and I'm going to show you the operator side of things. On the boarding pass, there's a big check-in button. When the guest is ready to check in, it is step-by-step, picture-by-picture check-in instructions. I like to say if you don't know how to check in after this, just stay home because it is literally a Pictionary. In addition to this, if you have your smart locks integrated in Enso, instead of saying "I'm in," it will say "lock or unlock." We will connect your smart locks associated to a specific step here, and they'll be able to directly unlock the door. If it's a code, they'll see the code. If you're using another platform for smart locks, we will sync that code from the PMS and put it directly in the boarding pass as well. So really try to make that experience as smooth as possible. Now, in order to set this up, and I'll show you here on this specific example, cabin 001, you go to your check-in instructions, and all you do is you add different steps. Now, you can copy from an existing, you can start from scratch, and really it's simple as saying, let's add an image. So I'm going to add an image here. We're going to select a photo from maybe our templates of photos. I'm just going to pick front door here. Then we're going to add an instruction. So we're going to say, unlock the door with the key provided, and that's it. And then we're going to click save for that specific listing, and we're going to add another step. So again, really simple. Now, there are different use cases. There are different ways of configuring this. We have, in some cases, some clients will say, well, I only want to show this particular step on, for example, where to park the car if they've paid the parking instructions or if they've paid, the parking fee. So what we can do is we can add a step. We're going to create from scratch, and we're going to say, if X, Y, and Z show this particular step. So you can add as many workflows and conditions and so on. I'm giving you one example here, but really the idea is that as soon as the guest is ready to click that check-in button, it is everything they need in a very simple step-by-step picture guide. Now, because EnsoConnect operates with very large property managers, this sounds like a fairly easy task. If you have one or two properties, go take some pictures, put them in, create your steps. What happens when you have 100 properties or 500 properties or 1,000 properties? You're not going to go to every single property and take pictures of how to get to the door and what the door looks like and so on. So what I usually recommend in those cases is have just two simple steps. The first one is really an explanation of the check-in process, maybe put instead your logo, and then have the second one be a picture of the home. You can save these check-in steps for a specific property. If it's the same step for a bunch of listings because you have, let's say, a building where you have multiple units in that building, then you can save it for a group. Or if it's for all of your properties, the same first instruction with your logo, then you can just save it for all listings. The idea is that once they've completed all of their pre-verification things, so verification like ID collection, data collection, an agreement, a safety deposit, a damage waiver, you name it, when they are ready to check in, which is this button, and when it's ready to check in, meaning when are the check-in instructions going to be available? So on your check-in time, so if your check-in time is at 4 p.m., they shouldn't be able to click this at 2 p.m. And the counter argument I always get for this is, well, what if they want to see the instructions beforehand? Well, you can always create an arrival guide. You can always create a guidebook that tells them how to get to the property. This is really about setting up the instructions so that when they're ready to check in, it is step-by-step, picture-by-picture check-in instructions. So if you're still sending long paragraphs with all of your instructions on how to check in, and if you're still getting questions from those guests saying, how do I check in? There's something to improve in your process. We're here to help, and if you want to learn more about EnsoConnect, feel free to reach out. Thanks so much for listening to another Enso Demo Bite.